Hey everyone, it's CurlyHairedHero, and welcome back to Prince of Tennis 2005 Crystal Drive. This is the second round, the quarterfinals, not the semifinals, the quarterfinals of the Open Cup doubles tournament that we're competing with Tezuka, Kunimitsu, and Tachibana or something other. We're actually facing off against Tachibana and the elder Tachibana's younger sister, and also Momo, who's the first character we've ever used in this game. So I don't really know how well this is gonna work out. Seems like this is a weird female, or I guess I should say mixed doubles tournament, because so far that's all we've faced off against. Wow, right off the bat, going for a coach ability. Interesting. I think Tachibana, oof, nice, has one of the better coach abilities in this game. I don't really know a lot about coach abilities. It's kind of hard to go on the bottom screen and fucking press. Oof. Wow, how did that go right through me? Okay, it's kind of hard to go on the bottom screen, and wow, this girl's fucking my ass up, Jesus. And press the coach's move while you're moving around trying to play tennis. Granted, you know, it is in the corner of the screen, sort of, so it's not that hard to actually go to it. But you can see there, Tachibana's ability once again allows you to just get, I believe it's pretty much full gauge. Full C gauge, and you can use them, I think, 4 or 5 times in a match. It's pretty, yeah. So you got 3 gauges from that. So he's pretty good. They are not letting up here. Wow, how is this shit so hard to hit? I know it's slow and whatnot, but I'm literally right there. Oh, maybe it's just a sort of a depth perception kind of thing. I believe they're probably out of Tachibana's. Nope. There he is as soon as I say it. But I think they're pretty much running out. They've used it on every single point. So that was probably the last one or the second to last one. So from now I can probably just come in and just, goddamn it, let's smash. There you go. Let's go ahead and clean up. I'm probably just gonna start throwing out a bunch of drop shots since they want to be all balls to the wall, throwing out their own drop shots at me. So yeah. Last time in the previous episode we talked about my issues with the serve, which is pretty sort of ironic because in these kinds of tennis games, oh boy, please Tachibana, thank you, nice returning with a drop and the reaping topspin. Alright, at least I think that's what that's called. Yeah, I talk about my issues with the serve, and it's ironic just because in all of these tennis games I focus on the serve a lot. And I feel like I have a really good serve and serve return, really good positioning in tennis games. So clearly I understand how a tennis serve is supposed to work, but I just can't physically actually do it competently. One of the things that seems to be a real big issue is my ball toss. That's a big thing, which is also another thing that's ironic about it is that, so I used to have this friend who was also in the tennis team of the same school that I went to. She was on the girls tennis team, and after I graduated she still remained on the team because she was a year or 2, I think she was 2 like years or grades under me, so she was still in high school by the time I graduated, and so she was still able to be on the team, so she was still playing, and she had gotten to the point where she was maybe like second doubles, maybe even first, if I remember correctly, and then she all the way jumped up to second singles. The only reason she wasn't first singles is just because there was a girl on their team who was actually, you know, she had actually played several times prior to that, and she was like one of those girls that are just like, what are they called? I don't know if moe is, I never know what moe is. I've read the description like 100 times, but I never know what it means. But basically she was just like perfect, because she could sing, she could play guitar, she can fucking play tennis, she can play all these other sports. She was just like perfect, right? The only reason why my friend wasn't first singles was because of that, because this girl was obviously first singles, right? But she was second double. She was second singles. I keep saying second doubles, I don't know why. But yeah, she wanted me to sort of help her out a little bit, because I sort of had more experience than her. The only reason I had more experience, even though we started playing at the exact same time pretty much, is just that I invested a lot more time in it than she did. Even though, granted, she probably didn't invest almost as much time as I did. I just probably took it a little bit further in that I started watching, you know, tennis games, like actual professionals play, and I looked at videos and that stuff. Whereas, like, even though we were always on the court for a really long time, you know? But she wanted me to sort of give her some pointers or something. And then the main thing that I wanted her to focus on was her serve. Because, you know, that's important. And I started her out by working on her ball toss. And what I did was I made her, whenever she can, to just sit on the ground or wherever she is and just toss the ball up in the air and then catch it. The thing about the ball toss is you gotta throw it up in the air and throw it up in them. That's the thing. You don't want to like launch it up like you're throwing a baseball up into the air. You want to lift up your arm and then let go of the ball, and then the momentum of you picking up your arm, wow, nice, makes the ball go up. So you're not actually throwing the ball, you're just kind of lifting it up. But I mean, throwing is sort of the more better sounding term than just lifting, you know? Basically, I had her do that, and then the thing is, you don't want to throw your ball toss in a specific direction, unless you're trying to go for a specific serve, but in general, you want to have it be in the same general area. So if you're throwing it from a seating position, you should technically be able to catch it, because you shouldn't be going too crazy to the right or the left or forward or anything like that. You should be able to generally be able to catch it with your arm straight like that, and that was the sort of thing I was going to for her to have a good ball toss, and from there we can work on her actual stroke, and then she would have a really solid serve. But the reason why it's all ironic is that I went through all that with her, teaching her how to do the ball toss, but then, you know, mine is complete garbage. And that's one of the things I really noticed a lot, is that unfortunately, haha, get fucked, is I'm turning out to be one of those people that are like more equipped to become coaches than they are to become players. Because there are some people that are really good at explaining things to others. I don't think I'm really that great at that, but they are better at like instructing people on how to do things than actually being able to do them themselves, which seems to be like, that seems to be sort of the category that I'm falling in, which, I mean, I guess I wouldn't mind somewhere down the line becoming some sort of like tennis coach, maybe like kids or something like that. Like, that sounds fun, 'cause I really like tennis. The only thing is that I'm also the kind of person, like, there's two types of people when it comes to explaining things, I believe. It's the people that can like actually explain it, and it's relatively understandable in terms of like words and whatnot. And there are the other kind of people that can kind of just tell you like, oh, you gotta go foom and wham, those kind of people, where it's a lot more natural for them, so it's difficult for them to put it into words. I feel like I'm somewhere in between that sometimes, or at least I'm not very good at conveying what it is that someone needs to do. But nonetheless, one of the main reasons why I feel like my serve isn't that great is that I need to work a lot on my ball toss, because I don't throw the ball high enough, is one of the main things that I need to focus on. I need to throw a lot of height in there, because you want to throw that thing up high so that you can stretch out your arm as sort of long as possible, so you get a lot greater range of motion. Because that's why, you know, tall people have such great serves, because they can go they have really long arms, and they can go from the very, you know, long position, get that nice long range of motion, which picks up the velocity and the tenacity of the serve. So, you can see there Momo used one of his double specials, which I believe converted all of their C gauge into super gauge, which is interesting. And yeah, I think that's all it really does. I don't know if there's any sort of requirement for that, but it's funny that Momo's presumably the better character in this, because he's actually in the tennis team, but I'm actually having more trouble with Anne than I am with actually Momo. Momo's actually gotten service ace a couple of times, and he's the reason why we're above. He hasn't really done too much too impressive, as opposed to Anne, who's been smashing shit on us and getting fucking our shit up. The only reason why Anne has been not as great, maybe, is just because of the fact that she has really bad grip stat. Bitch. Stop doing that stupid fucking drop shot. She has a really bad grip stat, so it's really easy for us to just go through her, especially since both me, Tachibana, And Tezuka, who I'm using, have really high power stats. Fuck. But yeah, you really want to throw the ball up really high just so you can get that long range of motion, which is also more important for me because I'm not very tall. I'm 5'6", so I need as much range as I can really get. Like, I really need to get up there. It also helps because I have a bad habit of sort of not swinging my arm fully like you're supposed to for the serve. Part of it is like what I went over last time because of this weird thing that happens with my arm sometimes when I throw a football, or I believe it's gonna happen with the serve. It's never happened for the serve, but I fear because it's the same motion that it might happen one day, and I'm just gonna be very sad. But you wanna, you know, I'm having trouble. This is why I said I don't think I'll be cut out as a coach because I have bad. Damn. I have a bad time trying to explain things physically. I'm more of a just showing you what to do, but then I'm not really good at it either. So I don't know. Maybe I just suck in general. But nonetheless, you want to have your arm out as, you know, straight as possible, rather than having it all tight and clutched up, which is what I tend to have a bad habit of doing because I don't, you know, put my arm out as far as I should due to the fact that I think something's gonna happen to my arm and whatever other weird serve tendencies that I have that doesn't let me actually go for that full range of motion. So I kind of do this sort of like hunched up motion, and I end up making contact with the ball way lower than I'm supposed to, which ends up either me hitting the net or me having to chase the ball because it's in a really bad position, because obviously it's not where I'm supposed to hit it and it's a lot closer to me. So yeah, so I feel like if I worked on the toss, I can probably get things to work out a little bit better. I don't understand what it... Wow. Okay. I don't understand what it is I'm doing wrong for Tezuka's... There we go. Zirozeki drop shot. I think I was just in a bad spot. I thought he did it at the net, but apparently he does it in front of the baseline, before the net, in the dead man's land here, which is really funny because you're supposedly not supposed to be standing around there. Because that's usually where balls are going to land. You want to stand more behind the baseline so you have enough time to react to the ball and actually, you know, reach the ball, or at the net so you can finish the point. No man's land is not really that great, but the problem is that, you know, when you're a scrub, that's usually where you spend a lot of your time, because that's sort of the midway point and not everyone's pushing you back behind the baseline, and if it's a net ball, you have a lot more time to reach it. I don't feel like that's really that serious of a concept nowadays. I only really think I remember it in Prince of Tennis, quite honestly. Or I think that was Prince of Tennis. I hope that was Prince of Tennis. But either way, nonetheless, we're gonna go ahead and finish this off with the lamest shot of all time. I was actually trying to do a fucking drop shot, but I ended up just giving a fucking cord ball to end the match. That was disappointing. Nonetheless, we ended up beating up these two guys. Why does Ann looks almost happy, and then Tezuka and Tachibana look almost upset, like if they are the ones that lost? Opponent was not half bad. I got 5 service aces thanks to fucking Momo throwing me a bunch of bones there. Nice. Smash aces, we smashed it on them a lot. And smashed it on us 3 times. Momo only did it once, and he's supposed to be like the smash proficient player. We only got 5 shots, while they got a total combined of 11, which is ridiculous. But no one got a super special shot. I don't even think I got a super mode, because that match was a bit quick, so I didn't really bother too much with taunting and stuff. Didn't really seem necessary. But nonetheless, story of the day: work on your serve. That activity that I came up with was pretty good. You just gotta, because you can kind of do it anywhere. It's probably best to do it on the ground just because you have more space to throw the ball up, so you don't hit the ceiling. But you want to throw it up really, really high, or not really high, but just, you know, high, and then just try and make it so that you catch it right in the same spot where your hand is. So you lift up your arm straight up, let your fingertips let go of the ball so that the momentum tosses the ball up, and the ball goes up. At least, I believe the distance you want to is like maybe, I don't know, 2 feet, 4 feet, somewhere around that time, that distance, like 2-4 feet above you. And then as it's coming down, you want it to be able to catch it right in your hand as you bring it down. That's sort of what you're going for. When I went to my classes, my instructor wanted me to toss it more to the right, But I'll work on that a little bit later. But yeah, stay fresh.
Yakusoku dori asonde yarou.